Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a jam-packed episode covering some of the most explosive news in gaming and tech. We're diving into the wild ride that is the rise of DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup that's shaking up the industry with innovation at a fraction of the cost, and how it's shining a spotlight on the questionable strategies of NVIDIA and OpenAI. But that's not all. We're also going to break down the RTX 5090 and 5080 launches, discuss the real-world performance versus the hype, and even touch on some potentially game-changing tariffs on Taiwanese chips that could impact graphics card pricing as we know it. So buckle up, grab your favorite snack, and let's jump into this whirlwind of tech news. Let's start by putting things into perspective. The gaming tech landscape has always been a battleground between innovation, performance, and pricing. But recent events have raised serious questions about where our priorities really lie. On one side, we have NVIDIA and OpenAI, giants whose relentless push into artificial intelligence seems to have shifted focus away from what made them beloved in the gaming community. And on the other, we have DeepSeek, a scrappy Chinese AI startup that managed to develop a competitive AI model with less than $6 million in investment, proving that innovation doesn't have to come with a multi-billion-dollar price tag. This isn't just about fancy tech demos and impressive specs. It's a wake-up call for all of us gamers. The products we rely on for our gaming experiences are increasingly caught in a tug-of-war between serving the demands of corporate AI partners and delivering genuine value to everyday users. Today we're going to unravel this tangled web and explore what it means for you, me, and the entire gaming community. Let's start with NVIDIA's latest flagship, the RTX 5090, which was unveiled at CES 2025. NVIDIA claimed it was a revolutionary leap forward, boasting 32 gigabytes of GDDR7 memory, DLSS 4.0, and performance numbers that were supposed to be double that of the RTX 4090. At first glance, it sounded like a dream come true for gamers hungry for the latest and greatest hardware. But here's where the reality check kicks in. According to detailed reviews from trusted sources like Gamers Nexus, the RTX 5090 delivers about 160 frames per second on average in heavy-hitting titles like Black Myth Wukong, roughly a 20% improvement over the RTX 4090. While that's definitely a noticeable gain, it's nowhere near the double the performance claim, especially when you consider the staggering $2,000 price tag. And that's just one part of the story. The 5090 powerhouse also draws a massive 575 watts, making it a serious beast in terms of power consumption. For gamers, this means not only a higher electricity bill, but also the need for robust cooling solutions that can handle the heat generated by such a demanding card. And then there's the stock issue. We're talking about all the retailers selling out within minutes, and reports suggesting that only about 350 units hit US shelves in the first round. The scarcity has created the perfect storm for scalpers, who are flipping these cards for up to 3 times the retail price. It's almost as if NVIDIA has lost touch with the community that once propelled its success, and it's clear that supply, pricing, and performance are now intertwined in a rather messy reality. Now, here's where things get really interesting and controversial. NVIDIA's market share in AI chips has skyrocketed to an incredible 90%, which tells you that a huge chunk of their profits now comes from selling to AI companies like OpenAI. It begs the question, are gamers being sidelined in favor of big corporate deals and AI innovation? Let's be real. The RTX 5090 is in such short supply and comes with such a premium price that many of us feel like we're only getting the leftovers. Meanwhile, industry insiders claim that NVIDIA's best silicon is being funneled to AI partners, leaving gamers with products that are marketed as revolutionary but don't quite deliver on the promises made. This shift in focus isn't just a minor detail, it's a fundamental change in priorities. While pushing the envelope in AI is undoubtedly important, it shouldn't come at the expense of the community that helped build NVIDIA into the powerhouse it is today. And that's exactly where DeepSeek enters the picture. Enter DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup that's been making waves in the industry. DeepSeek has developed an AI model that competes with the best from OpenAI, and they did it for under $6 million. Yes, you heard that right. Under $6 million compared to the billions that the tech giants are shelling out for their infrastructure and proprietary tech. When DeepSeek's model hit the market, it sent shockwaves through the industry. US tech stocks plummeted by over $1 trillion as investors scrambled to reevaluate their positions. Suddenly, it became glaringly obvious that innovation doesn't necessarily require a massive war chest. Efficiency, smart engineering, and a different mindset can go a long way, perhaps even long enough to disrupt an industry that's been mired in over-expenditure and hype. For gamers, DeepSeek's breakthrough is a beacon of hope. It demonstrates that the long-held belief in bigger is better might be a fallacy in our current tech ecosystem. If an underfunded startup can produce results that rival those of industry behemoths, then maybe it's time for a radical rethink. Instead of funneling endless cash into corporate partnerships and AI ventures that leave gamers feeling forgotten, why not redirect that innovation towards creating products that truly enhance our gaming experience? Now, you might be wondering, how does all of this affect me as a gamer? Well, let's break it down. The current scenario is a perfect storm of corporate interests, supply shortages, and unpredictable pricing. Not only are gamers being shortchanged with hardware that doesn't deliver the promised performance gains, but there are also external factors like potential tariffs on chips from Taiwan that could drive prices even higher. Recently, there have been hints that up to a 100% tariff might be imposed on chips imported from Taiwan.
In particular, in the very near future, we're going to be placing tariffs on foreign production of computer chips, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals to return production of these essential goods to the United States of America. They left us and they went to Taiwan, which is about 98% of the chip business, by the way, and we want them to come back.
Yes, you heard that correctly, up to 100%. Although the details are still a bit murky and officials have mentioned potential tariffs at 25% or 50% as well, the implication is clear. If these tariffs come into effect, the cost of graphics cards could skyrocket. Here's why. Graphics card chips are primarily manufactured in Taiwan by companies like TSMC, and if importers have to pay double the price for these chips, they'll inevitably pass those costs onto us, the consumers. Imagine this. The RTX 5090, already a premium product with a hefty price tag, could see its cost balloon over time as the tariffs hit new shipments. And while the cards that have already been imported might remain unaffected in the short term, any new stock arriving in the US could be priced well beyond the originally set MSRP. This isn't just speculation, it's a reality that many industry insiders are warning about, and it could dramatically reshape the gaming hardware market in the near future. Next, let's talk about supply and demand, two words that have become the bane of every gamer's existence in recent times. With the RTX 5090 and 5080 launches, we're seeing a classic case of hype-driven scarcity. For example, reports indicate that US retailers like Micro Center and Best Buy had extremely limited allocations. In some cases, only 4 to 8 units were available per location. And while a few fortunate souls managed to camp out overnight and snag one of these coveted GPUs, the vast majority of gamers were left empty-handed. This is compounded by the fact that add-in board partners like MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, and others have been forced to price their models above the suggested MSRP due to razor-thin profit margins. For instance, while the RTX 5090's MSRP might be set at $2,000, some AIB models are already being listed for as much as $2,400 or even higher. And let's not forget the rampant scalping, where RTX 5090 Founders Edition models are being resold on platforms like eBay for $5,000 to $6,000. That's a markup of up to 300% above MSRP. So what does this mean for you and me? It means that the market is in chaos, a frenzy driven by limited supply, inflated prices, and corporate decisions that seem to prioritize profit over performance. And this isn't a new phenomenon. It's reminiscent of the RTX 30 and 40 series launch days, where bots, scalpers, and supply shortages turned what should have been a straightforward purchase into a full-blown battle. Let's for a minute zero in on the RTX 5090 and its sibling, the RTX 5080, to understand how these launches have become a bloodbath for regular consumers. The official RTX 5090 launch was, in many ways, a paper launch. That means while the product was technically available, the actual number of units released was a tiny fraction of the demand. At major retailers like Best Buy, the stock was snapped up by BestBots, scripted systems designed specifically to scoop up every available unit before a human could even click Buy Now. Meanwhile, Micro Center tried to level the playing field by allowing customers to camp out in person. But even then, most locations only had 4 to 8 units available. One location even had an outlier stock of around 40 units, but that was rare. If you were unlucky enough to not be near a Micro Center or didn't have the time to camp out, you were left with no choice but to turn to online retailers like Newegg. And as expected, the online market became a hotbed for scalpers, with resold cards reaching astronomical prices. Then there are the AIB models, the versions produced by companies like MSI, Asus, and Gigabyte. These models sometimes come with combo deals that bundle in accessories like power supplies and motherboards. While this might seem like a good deal on paper, it often locks you into buying components you might not need, or that aren't perfectly matched to your system. And if you try to return part of the bundle, be prepared for a hassle. The takeaway? The RTX 5090, 5080 launches were chaotic. And this isn't just an isolated incident, it's part of a broader pattern where hype, limited supply, and corporate priorities converge to make life extremely difficult for gamers. But it's not all doom and gloom. There's another front in this tech battle that deserves our attention: AMD. With their latest developments in the RDNA 4 architecture and the eagerly awaited FSR 4, AMD is positioning itself as a serious contender in the gaming space. AMD has been under pressure to deliver an upscaling technology that can compete with NVIDIA's DLSS 4 transformer model. Early reviews of DLSS 4 have been promising, showing that in performance mode, it can rival the quality of the older quality mode while delivering a significant performance boost. However, the catch is that DLSS, while powerful, doesn't truly generate new frames. Instead, it upscales lower resolution images to create the illusion of higher performance. This is where FSR 4 comes in. FSR 4 is critical for AMD's success, especially with their 9000 series GPUs. The goal is for FSR 4 to not only work seamlessly in performance mode, but also be backed by a robust lineup of launch titles. There's talk of an automatic driver-level upgrade that could allow FSR 3.1 titles to run FSR 4 on RDNA 4 GPUs. This is huge because it means that even if your game wasn't originally optimized for FSR 4, your driver could essentially swap out the old code for the new, at least for RDNA 4 cards. However, there are still many questions. Will FSR 4 be as efficient on older architectures like RDNA 2 or even RDNA 3? And can AMD's integrated graphics, like those found in the new high-end laptop APUs, truly compete with dedicated GPUs like the RTX 4070 in real-world scenarios? Early marketing slides from AMD suggest that in some games, their integrated graphics can even outperform an RTX 4070 by up to 60% in certain scenarios. But let's be clear, these are often up to numbers and might not reflect average performance. What's clear is that AMD is taking no prisoners in its quest to reclaim a piece of the gaming market. With a focus on desktop performance for now, and hints of future mobile or APU integrations, they're betting that innovation in upscaling and a solid hardware lineup can disrupt NVIDIA's current dominance. And if DeepSeek's story has taught us anything, it's that even established giants can be caught off guard by a nimble, innovative competitor. Now, before we wrap up, let's touch on a few more hot topics that have been circulating in the tech community. First up, Intel Battle Mage. Rumors have been swirling on Twitter and other social media platforms about new Battle Mage products and IDs being spotted. While details are scarce, there's definitely buzz that Intel might be gearing up to enter the higher-end GPU market. Of course, there are concerns, especially around CPU overhead issues that have plagued some of Intel's earlier products. If you're running at higher frame rates on an Intel GPU, you might start noticing some CPU bottlenecks. It's something to keep an eye on as Intel continues to refine its offerings. And then there's the news coming from the world of gaming titles themselves. For instance, the upcoming release of Rise of the Ronin from Team Ninja is set to launch on PC on March 11th. The system requirements are intriguing, supporting 8K resolution, 120 FPS gameplay, and both FSR and DLSS support. However, there are whispers that the 120 FPS support might actually indicate a hard cap on the refresh rate, reminiscent of issues seen in games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where modding was required to remove such limits. So, while these specifications sound impressive, the real-world performance and flexibility remain to be seen. Lastly, let's talk a bit about the reselling and alert systems that many of you might be familiar with. Given the chaotic launches of the RTX 5090 and 5080, communities on Discord, Twitter, and YouTube have sprung up to help alert gamers when stock becomes available. Whether it's Discord groups like Lunch Money or channels like 247 Stock Alerts, these platforms have become lifelines for those of us trying to snag a GPU at a reasonable price. A word of advice here: stay vigilant, avoid overpaying on the secondary market, and don't get caught up in FOMO. Remember, if you pay $5,000 for an RTX 5090, or if scalpers are selling an RTX 5080 for hundreds and thousands of dollars above MSRP, you're just fueling the chaos. We also need to vote with our wallets. When the RTX 5090 or 5080 is hyped as the next big thing but fails to deliver on real-world performance, it's our responsibility to hold these companies accountable. Don't buy into the hype. Research, wait for independent reviews, and only invest when the product truly offers value. If enough gamers refuse to pay inflated prices, market forces might eventually force companies to honor the MSRP and offer fairer deals. Additionally, keep an eye on emerging alternatives. AMD's push with RDNA 4 and FSR 4, along with potential entries from Intel's Battlemage, shows that the market is still wide open for innovation. It might be time to start considering other brands if they can offer better value for your money and genuinely cater to the needs of the gaming community. So what does all this mean for the future of gaming tech? In a word, disruption. We're at a crossroads where massive, overfunded corporations are being challenged by lean, innovative startups and by the collective voice of a passionate community. DeepSeek's rise isn't just a win for efficiency. It's a wake-up call that smarter, more cost-effective solutions are possible even in an industry as capital-intensive as AI and GPU development. Meanwhile, the RTX 5090 and 5080 launches, with all their chaos and inflated pricing, remind us that hype can sometimes obscure reality. When supply is limited, when tariffs might soon push prices even higher, and when corporate priorities shift away from the gaming community, it's up to us to push back and demand innovation that truly benefits us. I'd love to know what you all think about this state of affairs. Have you been following the RTX 5090 5080 situation? What's your take on NVIDIA's focus on AI over gaming? And how do you feel about the emerging alternatives from DeepSeek, AMD, or even Intel? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're all in this together, and your opinions matter. Before we sign off, let me give you some practical tips if you're planning to upgrade your GPU in the near future. Given the current state of the market, here are a few pointers to help you navigate the chaos. Stay informed. Join Discord groups, follow Twitter accounts, and subscribe to channels like 247 Stock Alerts. These communities are invaluable for real-time updates on stock drops and availability. Staying connected means you'll be among the first to know when a GPU becomes available at a reasonable price. Avoid overpaying. Resist the urge to buy from scalpers. If you see an RTX 5090 listed at $250, 300% above MSRP, take a deep breath and wait. Historically, prices tend to stabilize after the initial frenzy, and you might even find better deals as supply increases. Be ready to act fast. If you're in a position to purchase, have your payment methods and accounts set up well in advance. Whether you're using Best Buy, Newegg, or another retailer, every second counts when stock drops. Consider alternatives. Don't overlook AMD and Intel. AMD's upcoming RDNA 4 GPUs and the anticipated FSR 4 upscaling technology could offer a compelling alternative to NVIDIA's current lineup. Similarly, if Intel's Battlemage rumors turn into reality, you might have another viable option on the horizon. Watch for bundles and combo deals. Sometimes, AIB partners offer bundles that include not just the GPU, but also a compatible power supply or motherboard. These can offer decent value, but make sure you really need the extras. Return policies on combo deals can be strict. Plan ahead for tariff impacts. Keep an eye on the news regarding tariffs on Taiwanese chips. While these tariffs aren't in place yet, any announcement could mean price hikes on future shipments. If you're planning an upgrade, now might be the time before any new tariffs take effect. By following these tips, you'll be better prepared to cut through the hype and secure the best possible deal on your next GPU. As we look to the future, it's clear that the landscape of gaming hardware is in the midst of a major transformation. The massive investments in AI are starting to shift the focus away from the traditional gamer, but at the same time, they're opening the door for disruptive innovators like DeepSeek to challenge the status quo. Imagine a future where innovation isn't measured solely by the size of a company's budget, but by the quality of its ideas and the value delivered to its users. A future where gamers aren't forced to choose between high performance and affordability. A future where competition drives better products, fairer pricing, and ultimately, a better gaming experience for everyone. It's an exciting time to be part of gaming community. Whether you're a hardcore gamer, a tech enthusiast, or just someone who appreciates the art of innovation, the next few years promise to be nothing short of revolutionary. And as always, we'll be here to break down the news, analyze the trends, and help you navigate this ever-changing landscape. To sum it all up, today we've covered a lot of ground, from the hype and reality of the RTX 5090 and 5080 launches, to the broader implications of corporate priorities that favor AI over gaming. We've seen how DeepSeek is challenging the giants, and we've discussed the potential fallout from tariffs and supply issues that could redefine GPU pricing in the near future. But beyond all the technical details and market analysis, there's one thing that stands out: the passion and resilience of the gaming community. We're not just consumers, we're the backbone of this entire industry. And if we stand together, demand transparency, and support true innovation, we can steer the future of gaming tech in a direction that benefits us all. So here's my challenge to you. Stay informed, question the hype, and always prioritize value over flashy marketing. Let's keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you feel like companies like NVIDIA and OpenAI have lost sight of what gamers really need? What are your predictions for the future of GPU pricing and innovation? And most importantly, how are you preparing for the next wave of tech disruptions? If you found this video insightful, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more in-depth tech and gaming analyses, and don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss an update. Together, we can push for a future where innovation isn't just a buzzword, but a reality that truly elevates our gaming experiences. Thanks for watching and being part of this amazing community. I appreciate every comment, like, and share because it means we're all in this journey together. Until next time, keep gaming, stay curious, and let's make sure our voices are heard in the world of tech.